this? I'm done already. You, because I'm your elder, you respect what I said, we're done. Bastard.
So it's no secret that Michael and Angela have always had a pretty bad relationship. But now, things have just gotten worse. For months, Michael tried to keep his cool, hoping that if he stayed chill, things would settle down. But Angela's energy was just too much, and her anger was getting harder to handle. It was clear that something had to give, and before long, everything blew up. Michael, who had been holding in his frustration, finally reached his breaking point and made a move that shocked everyone. He decided to take Angela to court.
Please. And you are the problem!
Will you calm down?
What's going on? Listen, don't hate me. Don't get in my Do not get in my
So, Michael had been feeling the strain in his relationship with Angela for what seemed like ages. Angela's mood swings kept him on his toes, and he never knew what little thing would set her off next. Every day felt like tiptoeing around a minefield, and he couldn't avoid the feeling that nothing he did was ever good enough. Whether it was missing a call, a text gone wrong, or something very minor, Angela always found a way to blow it up into a huge fight. After months of this, Michael was totally drained. The constant accusations and emotional games had worn him out. He kept hoping things would get better, that Angela would chill out eventually. But the longer he stuck around, the worse it got. The fights became more frequent, and the emotional stress was just too much. No matter how hard he tried to calm things down, Angela's anger just kept escalating. In those quiet moments after the chaos, when the yelling finally stopped, Michael would think about what to do next. He had already invested so much into this relationship, but the emotional cost was becoming unbearable. So after months of putting up with this exhausting situation, he found himself sitting in his lawyer's office. His hands were clenched, and he felt the weight of everything he had been through. It wasn't an easy choice, but he knew he had to do something. He was done being quiet, done trying to fix things when it was clear Angela wasn't going to change.
Did you tell my daughters all women are stupid?
So what do you expect me to do?
Bitch!
Now? So what is it?
Let me tell you something. You better get your ass and get your
You
ass to get fucked. Duck up. Duck up.
As he sat across from his lawyer, it hit him he was going to take Angela to court. Enough was enough. Angela needed to face the consequences of her actions, and Michael was finally ready to stand up for himself. The night everything changed for Michael started like any other. He came home after a long day, hoping for some peace, but as soon as he walked in, he could feel the tension. Angela was in one of her moods again, clearly upset about something she saw online. It wasn't unusual for her to get worked up over social media drama, but this time she seemed really on edge. Michael had learned to be careful in these situations. He tried to stay calm and talk it out, but nothing was working. Soon as he walked in, Angela accused him of cheating. There was not proof, but that didn't matter. Her insults cut deep as she threw out baseless accusations about where he had been and who he had been with. Michael, already worn out, tried to calm her down like he had so many times before, but Angela wasn't having it. Her voice got louder, her accusations more intense, and then, out of nowhere, she threw a cup of hot tea at him. The scalding liquid hit his chest, burning his skin. Michael got froze, but Angela wasn't done. Before he could even process what just happened, she spat in his face. Her words were dripping with disdain. Now, for Michael, it wasn't just the physical pain from the burn, it was the emotional betrayal that hurt the most. He had stood by Angela through countless fights trying to make their relationship work, but this was the last straw. The sting of the hot tea was nothing compared to the realization that the person he once loved could treat him so cruelly. That night, Michael finally understood that no matter how hard he tried, things were never going to improve. So the next day, he went to the hospital to get treatment for the burns. While waiting for the doctor, he couldn't ignore the feeling that this was his breaking point. He couldn't keep living like this. The physical scars would heal, but the emotional ones had been piling up for too long. At that moment, his mom's words echoed in his mind. She had always been the voice of reason, and even though she had told him to be patient before, now she was saying something different: you need to leave her. Michael finally got it. She was right. That hospital visit was a turning point for him. He could no longer justify staying in a relationship that was tearing him apart. The burns on his chest were a physical reminder of what he had been putting up with, but the emotional weight was even heavier. Sitting there, Michael knew it was time to stand up for himself and take back control of his life. That's when he decided to take Angela to court.
You know the difference between you and I, Michael? I have a heart. I'm a mean bitch. I'll fight in a goddamn minute and I'll with you. You have no heart, man.
So Michael knew it was time to make a move. As they went over the details, Michael's lawyer broke down the case piece by piece. This lawsuit wasn't just about the latest incident, it was about all the years of emotional abuse, public humiliation, and Every time Angela accused him of cheating, every nasty outburst, every time she embarrassed him on TV, it was all going into the case. Michael wasn't just suing over one night, he was finally standing up for himself after years of keeping quiet. Even though he knew this was the right move, a part of him hesitated. Their relationship had been under the media microscope for ages. Every fight, every makeup, every bit of drama had played out in front of everyone. Now, filing this lawsuit meant airing all their dirty laundry again. But deep down, Michael knew he had no choice. His hesitation was nothing compared to the need to protect himself. The emotional scars ran deep, and it was time to show the world what really happened. The lawsuit covered everything: Angela's emotional abuse, her manipulative tactics, her constant threats, and the recent incident where she threw hot tea at him and spat in his face. His lawyer reassured him that they had a strong case. Michael had medical records to back up the physical attack, and there were witnesses who could vouch for Angela's crazy behavior. It was a tough step, but one that was way overdue. Now, Angela's reaction to the lawsuit was exactly what we expected. She was furious. Instead of going through her lawyer, she took to social media, posting a bunch of videos and statements, calling Michael a liar and claiming he was making everything up. She denied all the allegations and painted herself as the victim, accusing him of trying to ruin her reputation. Her online rants gained traction. But this time, things felt different. As the details of the lawsuit came out, people started to question her side of the story. Michael's legal team had laid everything out clearly. It wasn't just a he said, she said situation anymore. The evidence was stacking up against Angela, and people were starting to see through her.
I was just treated badly by her. Whenever she's upset, she can do whatever she wants. And the law here, I don't want any issue. I don't want any bad record of my name. So I tend to, keep it cool. To be honest, I was scared. Sometimes when she's very upset, she made me feel scared.
When Michael walked into the courtroom, he felt a huge weight lift off his shoulders. This was the moment he would finally share his story, away from the media frenzy and Angela's constant accusations. He was nervous, but he knew that speaking up was the only way to move forward. As he took the stand, he opened up about everything he had been through. The emotional toll of years of manipulation, the public humiliation, and the physical abuse he had suffered. His testimony was calm, measured, and emotional. As Michael shared his side, Angela sat there trying to defend herself, but her usual loud, explosive style didn't cut it this time. Michael had medical records showing the burns from the hot tea, and there were witnesses who could back up his claims about Angela's behavior. She tried to interrupt the hearing with her comment, but that only made her look worse in the eyes of the court. The judge listened to Michael's statements, and while the case wasn't over yet, it was clear that Michael had made his point. The judge took a moment, then dropped the verdict. Michael had been through a lot of abuse, both emotional and physical. This wasn't just a typical marital spat, it was about one person being seriously mistreated for years. The judge ruled in Michael's favor, recognizing everything he has endured and giving him the legal relief he had been hoping for. Now, after this news came out, fans also started sharing their opinions on the internet. A person commented saying, "Way to go, Michael." Another one wrote, "She is getting what she deserves." Well, with that being said, it's time to end this video. But what do you guys think? Did Michael make the right call by taking Angela to court? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And as always, make sure you're subscribed to catch all the latest updates.